Welcome to Guns, Guns, Gear, and Guns with Gary Gunderson. I am Gary Gunderson. Vice President Kamala Harris endorsed a Senate candidate on Gun Violence Prevention Day and lied blatantly during the process.
Because here's what was happening. So before we took office, gun stores were required by law to conduct background checks. But gun dealers who sold weapons outside of the traditional gun store, like at a gun show or a flea market, or even online, did not conduct background checks. We used to call this the gun show loophole.
Amazing. Every word of what you just said was wrong.
She is very clearly lying. Anyone who has purchased a firearm online can tell you that it is required to be shipped to a federal firearms licensed dealer. To ship directly to your house would be illegal. That has not changed with recent legislation. Also, if it's a gun dealer, they are still required to do background checks at flea markets, gun shows, swap meets.
Residence, warehouse, farmhouse, hen house, outhouse, or doghouse.
She is referring to the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, which has redefined what it means to be engaged in the business of selling firearms, but even their own ATF director disagrees with her.
There is no gun show loophole, and there never was.
I also listened to another recent speech from Harris, and even I was shocked at how canned and repetitive her responses are.
Over the
I
years,
talk
I've
with
met
mothers
far
and
too many
fathers
parents
who say a silent, maybe not
and
so
sometimes
silent
out
prayer
loud
when
prayer.
they drop their
Every time they
kid
drop
off
their
at
child off
school,
at
or
school,
as they walk to the
or
school
walk them
bus,
to the school
that they'll
bus
come
stop.
home safe. If at any point between kindergarten and 12th grade you had to endure an active shooter drill, please take a look at this. I'd ask the students, keep your hands up. I'd ask the older adults. It's bone chilling.
Raise your hand if at any point between kindergarten and 12th grade you had to endure an active shooter drill. I'd ask the young people who are here today, raise your hand. I'd ask the older adults in the press to see this. It's bone chilling.
I still do not understand why this is so terrible. Bad things are a reality. They happen. No matter what gun control is passed, there will always be violent intruders that will target children and schools. Having them know what to do in that situation is good.
So let us all agree, it does not have to be this way. It does not have to be this way. And it is a false choice to suggest that you're either in favor of the Second Amendment or you want to take everyone's guns away. I'm in favor of the Second Amendment, and we need an assault weapons ban. I support the Second Amendment, and we need universal background checks. I support the Second Amendment, and we need red flag laws.
You can't be in favor of the Second Amendment and simultaneously gut it like a fish. You support the Second Amendment, except certain types of firearms. Except you want to create a registry, which is the first step towards confiscation. Except you want to be able to take away firearms without due process from a simple accusation, which will result in deaths as you forcibly remove firearms from people who have committed no crime. It sounds like you have a problem with the Second Amendment.
Whereas President Biden and I stood up to the NRA and the gun lobby, Donald Trump bowed down. After the horrors of El Paso and Dayton, the former president said he would take action. And then he folded. He failed to stand up to the gun lobby.
The NRA is powerful because there are Americans who support gun rights, not because gun companies are powerful. And also, the NRA is kind of the least good of the gun groups right now. And Trump bowed down to the gun control groups as well, pushing through bump stock bans.
I believe the right to be safe is a civil right. The people of our country have the right to live, work, worship, and learn without fear of violence, including gun violence.
Safety is not a civil right. Encountering violence is always a possibility in life. You cannot legislate away the evil in men's hearts. Being prepared is the best response to a world which has and always will contain violence.
Gun violence is the #1 cause of death of the children of America.
Not true, as has been debunked countless times already, but look at that creepy smile as she says it.
Gun violence is the leading cause of death for children in America.
The Senate hopeful candidate she endorsed, also Brooks, is also dumb, echoing many of the same points and lies.
Gun violence has become the #1 killer of children in the United States of America.
Nope.
A mother who realized that my own daughter and her peers had to make adjustments and learn protocols to be safe in the classroom. When we talk about unacceptable realities, it is an unacceptable reality that we send our kids into schools now and then expect them to practice protocols, how to dive under a desk, how to lock the classroom doors from inside. This is a reality that I do not accept. It's too easy. We know this is true. To get your hands on a gun these days. Assault weapons are readily available and flood into our state from other locales. The growing presence of ghost guns, we know, exacerbates what is already an unacceptable reality for all of us. The ever-increasing presence and availability of guns in our communities is an epidemic that is making every single one of our neighborhoods vulnerable.
Guns outnumber people in the United States, so if access to guns were really so terrible and an epidemic, we would be in an apocalyptic scenario. But we aren't, because access to guns is not the problem. Also, be cautious of anyone who throws around epidemic language so easily, especially after the pandemic, because those are rights-violating terms there, as we have seen. And she pledged to be a good little Democrat and vote for all the gun control proposals possible if she takes the Senate seat.
I'll pass gun legislation, including universal background checks, a ban on military-style assault weapons, and combating illegal firearms trafficking. And I want you to know as well that I won't back down from holding gun manufacturers accountable and making sure that we, the people, both have and exercise our right to hold this industry to account for the immense harm that they have caused our state and our country.
Wow, sending a rubber stamp to the Senate with no new ideas. Not sending their best and brightest. Well, this might be their best and brightest. Hopefully she loses, and this is the last time I have to mention her ever again. Anyways, that is all for today. If you've made it to the end of the video, please consider supporting me on Patreon, joining our Discord, and if not that, at least subscribe to the channel. Like the video and share it with others to help the channel grow. Thanks for watching.